Is your city a buyer's market or a seller's market? We all see headlines about the housing market, but when we see those, it's always about the overall market in the country. And because housing is very local, it's more important to know what's happening in your city and your county. So here's how you can figure out if your area is a buyer's market or a seller's market in Southern California. So when you click on this map, it tells you if your city is high demand, balanced, or low demand. And when you click on one of these, it'll give you all the housing data you can think of. Here's an example of a low demand market. It's Laguna Beach. Days on market is approaching 40, which is relatively high for Orange County and Southern California. And even though the median sales price is up 17% year over year, let's dive in a little further and see what's going on. So this is the main reason why this market is low demand. You can see price cuts are at 35%, which is very high for any market. Month supply of inventory is basically at 7, which is actually the highest month supply in this entire county. And you can see that the demand rate is very low at 14%. What this means is that only 14% of all listings that hit the market are actually getting purchased. So that's why this particular city is labeled as a low demand market. And an example of a high demand market, in this case Laguna Niguel, I chose the same county for a reason, just to compare like to like. You can see days on market is under 30, which is actually still relatively high for this area. When you dive in a little deeper, you can see that way fewer price cuts are happening, 27%. The demand rate is 44%, which is very, very high. So almost half of all listings that hit the market are being purchased. And then you can see month supply of inventory, which is one of the most important metrics to figure out what's going on, is at 2.3. Essentially, this means that if no new homes hit the market, it would take 2.3 months for every home to get purchased. So those are just some of the metrics you can use to track what your market is doing in Southern California. If you want to track these markets yourself, head to themarketvector.com or the link in my bio and follow me for more, where I'll be posting updates across all cities in Southern California.